All right. Just to flip to another fandom, you worked on Sliders and you worked on Babylon 5. What was it like working with J. Michael on Babylon 5?
Joe Straczynski is one of the best producers I've ever worked for. I wrote scripts for him for The Real Ghostbusters, and I wrote scripts on Babylon 5. And he respects writers because he is a writer. And with Real Ghostbusters, he asked to cut one joke. I said, okay, fine. With Babylon 5, I had the parents of this little boy who needed an operation, otherwise he was going to die, but they weren't going to allow the operation. And they're saying goodbye to him. And because they're aliens, I had them say, when you were born, we had the choice of having a feast or having a child, and you were too small for a feast. Well, they were aliens, right? And Joe Straczynski looks at these 4 lines of dialogue and says, could you take those out? I said, sure. I had only put them in to see what was going to happen. I knew I was going to have to probably have to take them out. But you always put something in for the producer to cut so that he feels he did his job.
So they feel like they did something useful.
But now, Joe did make one mistake. He said, your script is a little long. I cut 3 pages. I bet you're wrong, Joe. And the script came in, they shot it, and it was 3 minutes short. So Joe had to write 3 pages to replace the 3, a quick scene with Ivanova about something other. And it taught Joe a valuable lesson of producing. Always, if your script looks like it's long, shoot the whole thing, knowing what you'll cut if it has to be, if it goes long. And then you have something for the extended edition on the Blu-ray, right? Big Bang Theory had the wedding episode for Sheldon and Amy, and it came in long, so you never saw the real tag on the air. But if you go on YouTube, the real tag is a scene where they get to open up the present they got from Stephen Hawking. And he had just died, so this was a really nice way of saying goodbye. And and it's a watch that has this really nice inscription in it from Stephen Hawking. And if I remember correctly, it's up, congratulations, Sheldon, on your wedding to Amy Farrah Fowler. It's about time.
Nice.
So, but they had shot more than they needed. So anyway, that's the lesson. Yes.
It says here he has also made several uncredited appearances on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Tell us so we can go back and find.
All right.
you.
There's one. I don't remember the episode, but there's a Caltech cafeteria scene where I'm sitting in the background. And that was just, I'd said to Bill Prady, can I be an extra? He said, yeah. And then there's a party episode where Will Wheaton has a party and Brent Spiner is there and opens up the mint condition package, right?
Yeah.
And Dorothy Fontana and I are extras in the background. And they had called us and said, well, Will Wheaton is having a party. Would you go to Will Wheaton's party? We want to, and so we were there, and Mark Sandrosky, the director, made sure to give us a little camera time. And then, but the best was Penny gets invited to the Van Nuys Comic-Con. And it's funny, I called up my friend who takes care of getting the tribbles and whatever, and I said, so I'm going to attend the Van Nuys Comic-Con. Do you want to? He says, nobody goes to the Van Nuys Comic-Con. I said, you jerk, there is no Van Nuys Comic-Con. It's a thing on Big Bang Theory. And so, but they wanted people who actually had real booths at real conventions. And they said, would you be, I said, I'd be happy to do it. So they put me right next to Penny's booth. And so the camera pans across me, and I'm sitting there with all my books and some tribbles. And the camera pans across me, and then arrives a tribble at Penny. And I said to Kaylee Cuoco during one of her, she's signing the Serial Apist posters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said, Kaylee, I'll give you $20 if you'll sign a poster for me. She said, for you, David, I'll just sign one. And she gave me one. So I have one of the rarest Big Bang Theory items, a signed poster from Serial Apist signed by Kaylee Cuoco. And people say, we never found out Penny's last name. I know Penny's last name is. It's Hofstadter. So now, yes. But also in the scene where, in that same episode where Leonard is explaining how he got Penny to marry him to this room full of excited nerds. A nerd got married to a beautiful woman. The camera angle is such, so because I'm in the shot, I was sitting here being astonished by Leonard's story as well. So I'm in the background there, which is what you do when you're an atmosphere person. So I did tell Bill Prady that if they needed extras for the last episode, the finale, I would be, but he never called. He knew, but he didn't call. So I didn't get to be in that. But I got to the taping of the next to last episode, and I had to sign an NDA. So all I can tell you is when you watch the first half hour, I don't know what's in the second half hour, but when you watch the first half hour, there are at least 4 places where you're going to plots. It is, and no Jews in the room, so you'll have to find out what plotzing is later. Anyway, yeah, so there's that.
All right, all right.